The newest Genshin update contains a ton of new content, and these are the top 5 new features coming with the 5.5 version. Probably one of the cooler zones to be released, this new area called, a Tokpan, I think? Well, basically we'll have this massive volcano that can actually erupt sometimes, which looks quite beautiful. But if that's not enough, you can literally fly inside this mountain and unlock an entirely new zone that has some deep Natlan lore. Well, that's what the livestream claimed at least. And just like before, by exploring, you can obtain up to 400 Primo Gems until 5.6 update. But aside from these new areas, we'll also get access to the final tribe, the Collective of Plenty, and its new Saurian, the Tankasaurus, who has the ability to break boulders, and when dashing, they can even cross water. On top of that, there's also Varesa's story quest you'll be able to do and claim some leveling material rewards. Finally, there's also a new world boss called Lava Dragon Statue, so its materials will probably be needed by one of the new 5.5 characters. You know what they say, more events, more rewards. And this time around, the big major event called Tournament of Glory in Bloom is actually quite interesting because it will feature a new character whose name is Aoife, and it seems like this guy matches the silhouette from the future character spoilers we saw. Now, from what I understand, this event is all about helping the super cute Saurian who are sick, and Aoife, who is a Saurian veterinarian, he's gonna ask for her help with this. How does that actually work? Well, there's gonna be 2 gameplay modes. In the first one, it's got a bunch of different tribe objectives you will need to complete by using that tribe's character. So for example, with Mulani, you need to capture objectives, while with Varesa, you need to defend them. And then in the other game mode, you will need to plan some paths to a treasure to beat the minigame challenges. And the ultimate reward for doing all of this is going to be a free copy of Auroran, which is actually pretty cool since Auroran is definitely one of the better 4 stars, and his constellations are also pretty good. But moving over to smaller events, in Quirky Quaking Arena, you can match with randoms or your friends and play this game mode of who gets to collect most coins. And from what I understand, you will be assigned specific Natlan units. So seeing 4 Mowikas riding around the arena like maniacs honestly makes me believe this will be a funny social game mode. Now in Rhythm Ball Metzli, it's something we've seen before, it's Brick Breaker minigame, but I think this event will have some new twists as well. Then in Unlimited Fighting Championship, which is a combat event, you will need to collect buffs in Stage 1 and then use those buffs to beat bosses in Stage 2. Pretty cool. And then interestingly enough, there will be an event called Overflowing Favor, which will double the artifact drops. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we've never had this event in Genshin, right? Anyway, really nice event to get more of those disappointing HP and defense drops. And yeah, the rhythm game will also receive an update. Now it will contain Natlan OST, and you can even play the music from inside your Serenity Pod. Still, let's not forget the Genius Invocation TCG crowd. Yep, you guys are still getting new stuff, and in 5.5, more new characters and actions coming your way. Finally, Envisaged Echoes collection grows bigger, and now there's DS and Venti's trail effects you can unlock. It seems like Electro enjoyers are eating good this upcoming patch because we're getting not 1 but 2 new Electro units. And starting with Varesa, who is a 5-star Catalyst user, let's just say she's a very peculiar unit, since her playstyle revolves around plunging with her butt. Hey, I'm sure no one's complaining about this. Anyway, so the way she works is that she can set up some plunging with her skill or with charge attacks, and it seems like the Night Soul mechanic empowers her damage after she does enough plunges, which is pretty cool. Not only that, but she's also the first character in the game who has 2 different versions of a burst attack. The first version is like the others, she does a cool animation by stomping enemies to death, but the other version doesn't require all of her energy, and instead, when performing her plunges, she has an opportunity to use this mini burst attack, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. And then there's also Iansan, a 4-star polearm user, and I'm pretty sure she's going to generate a lot of hype for those who especially enjoy building different teams because she's an attack buffer, although there is a catch, being that the one who's getting buffed needs to keep moving in order to maintain the best version of the attack buff. Guess it makes sense since Iansan is all about fitness, so gotta move to keep that buff going. But yeah, I will be covering both Varesa and Iansan very soon, so make sure to keep an eye out and subscribe to my channel because, man, there's a lot we need to talk about when it comes to both of these units. Now, as for the new banners, in Phase 1, Varesa and Shenyun as well as Iansan will be available to pull for, while in Phase 2, Shilonen and Venti will be the featured 5 stars. And of course, as always, there's a signature weapon you can get, which this time, it's going to be Varesa's in Phase 1. Overall, I would say these banners are super stacked, especially considering Shenyun and Iansan will work really well with Varesa. But even in Phase 2, Shilonen is available, who's one of the best supports right now, especially for Natlan units. So not only there's new characters in 5.5, but also 2 new artifact sets, one of which is called Long Night's Oath, and the other one is called Finale of the Deep Galleries, which has the same name as the craftable 4-star sword from Fontaine. Interesting. Now, sadly, I didn't find any official information yet about Long Night's Oath. However, for the Finale of the Deep Galleries, it was actually revealed for a brief moment during the livestream, and it doesn't really make sense right now. Like, the 2-set bonus gives plus 15% cryo damage bonus, which is fine. But then the 4-set bonus states that when the unit has 0 energy, their normal attack and burst damage is increased by 60%. But once they hit someone with the normal attack, the burst boost disappears, and vice versa. Honestly, maintaining 0 energy is almost impossible in this game due to particles flying around. So this set literally feels like something a future character will be able to utilize, who does not need any energy, or they can stay at 0 energy consistently. Who knows, maybe it's Skirk who will use this. I don't know, we'll find out, and I'll talk about Long Night's Oath once its info is available. Okay, let's quickly go over the upcoming quality of life changes in version 5.5. And starting with the biggest one, when using the Sanctifying Elixir to produce an artifact with the 2 chosen artifact substats, from now on, you are guaranteed that these substats will be enhanced at least 2 times. And looking at the example they've provided, it seems like those 2 guaranteed rolls can be split between the 2 chosen substats, so keep that in mind, since we can see from all the 5 rolls, both crit damage and energy recharge chosen substats received 1 roll. Also, these Sanctifying Elixir crafted artifacts will now have a special icon next to them, and we'll be able to quickly filter them, so pretty nice. And lastly, regarding artifacts, it will finally be possible to salvage leveled up artifacts, which is something they should have done a long time ago, but whatever. Anyway, moving over to quest tracking. Previously, you had to go to the actual quests area, which was annoying, but in 5.5, most quests will now quickly open the specific map when clicking the navigate button. So as an example, you can quickly navigate from Natlan to Enkanomiya's zone quest. In addition, boss tracking has been improved. You know these tricky places where they sometimes hide underground? Well, now the new track and guide button will help with this. Although this feature will only be available to some bosses, but will be released for other ones in future versions. And as for my Serenity enthusiasts, we will finally be able to add stuff from the furnishing store, just like a shopping cart, before checking out with all the selected items. Very useful. And then for the 5 people who asked for this, you can now apparently search through your gift mail box for senders and keywords. Seriously, somebody let me know who asked for this in the comments. But I know what people definitely ask for, and it's finally coming: controller support for Android devices. Yeah, after 4 years since Genshin launched, finally you can see a small list of supported controller models that you can use on your Android devices. Oh, and one last quick thing, the treasure compass will now detect even more treasure locations, and the new kind of Monatus in Collective Aplenty region will also be discoverable. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to version 5.5 update. Some really exciting stuff coming, and I hope you found this video useful. So be sure to press the like button on it and subscribe to my channel for the new 5.5 videos that are coming very soon. Thanks, and see you in the next video.